welcome back. Fragrance Fiend here, today reviewing an absolute timeless classic. It is none other than Green Irish Tweed by Creed, released in 1985. As this one's been reviewed to death, I'm not going to do a full deep dive on this one, I'm just going to give it my general consensus as I usually do. So it currently comes in both 50 and 100ml, I obviously have the 50 on me here. And this is my batch code, it's from 2018, so it's 6.5 years old. I'm also not going to go too much into the batch code territory, that always seems to spark up a tiny bit of a debate. So the brand have this to say about it: a classic gentleman's perfume, Green Irish Tweed is a woody scent inspired by the lush green countryside estates and Creed's equestrian tailoring roots. Evoking the lush green countryside of the Emerald Isle, freshly cut grass, and a fresh sea breeze, this classic men's fragrance is a clean and natural smelling scent characterized by its dry, grassy, hay-like dry down. Crafted by Olivier's uncle's time at the Linton Tweed mill with notes that conjure the early earthy tones of luxurious hand-woven yarns, this fragrance explores the nature and craftsmanship associated with the English-based mill. And to the note breakdown. In the top you have peppermint, verbena, lemon, bergamot, and galbanum with the heart of geranium, lavender, and violet, lastly with a base of sandalwood, cedarwood, ambroxan, and oak moss. I believe there may have been a tiny bit of a change with the notes over years as well. Obviously with Aventus they've seemed to reveal more or added more, while obviously swapping ambergris for ambroxan. I also forgot to mention this is actually my signature work scent, and sadly I'm almost at the end of my bottle, hence why I'm doing the review now. Even the cap itself just sparks a million memories. Absolutely incredible opening. As already mentioned, it's a timeless classic. That DNA has been done, cloned, but never quite like this. And everything that David of Coolwater wants to be. Quality, even though Creed does get the flack it does for lack of quality nowadays, this one is just absolutely extraordinary. The opening is just extremely crisp, fresh, that peppermint is quite strong, while the verbena in conjunction with the bergamot add that citrus and green grassy element. It's just one of those fragrances where it's quite hard to actually pick up any synthetics. It literally smells like the pure essential oils. Then as it dries down it gets a tiny bit more powdery and muskier without losing too much of that opening. Then as it dries down the peppermint and verbena are still very much intact, however it becomes a little more musky and powdery as the sandalwood comes out a tiny bit more. The woody element of this one is actually quite minimalistic, it doesn't really overtake the fragrance as a lot of woody scents do. And this is actually a really good use of violet in this fragrance. I often find I do not like a lot of violet fragrances, they're too sharp and piercing, whereas with Green Irish Tweed the violet is just blended so evenly with everything else that it doesn't bring out the usual tendencies that I dislike in that note. But to sum up that scent profile overall, it is fresh, woody, grassy, and musky, and a hint powdery. A lot of people online call this whole DNA very outdated, I think because they kind of grew up in that era and they've smelt it their entire life, it reminds them too much of a time far gone. Whereas myself in my 20s and two other friends in their 20s actually also own Green Irish Tweed too, and we don't really identify any age to it. But going into your 20s, this is definitely something you can get away with, which is kind of ironic because Green Irish Tweed is my signature work scent and Coolwater is my father's current daily scent. Obviously it's been said that these smell quite alike, even having the same perfumer, apparently. And even though you can argue that these two smell similar, it's a whole different ballgame when it comes to Green Irish Tweed, just the quality of ingredients. It smells a lot more natural, this does smell quite synthetic in contrast, and I'd pick Green Irish Tweed any day until kind of now because the price has just skyrocketed recently. It now costs $369 for 50ml and $479 for 100ml. And only a few months ago you could get 100ml for $439. As much as I absolutely love this scent and have so many memories linked to it, and I did tell myself this is one that I probably would buy for life, but with the increasing cost of it and the niche market being quite oversaturated with so many other options out there, I unfortunately will not be rebuying this one at least for the next few years, or any Creed for that matter. All I can say is that I'll feel absolutely naked going into work not wearing this one. As for the performance, it is decent enough I guess. Obviously being a 6-year-old bottle, a lot of people think they become beasts after that amount of time, but they can also die out a bit. And as they oxidize, they lose a bit of their potency as well. So as for the scent itself, I have to give it a really strong 9 out of 10. It's versatile enough to wear all year round, but I just love this one in summer. It absolutely pops off the skin. I'm going to give it high marks for complexity as well. Extremely high quality scent. With the recent price increases, it's become a little less justifiable to repurchase. But based on the scent alone, I absolutely love it. But anyway, that's it for today's video. Thank you so much again for watching, and I'll see you next time.